One, two, three. Colleagues, thank you very much for this very kind invitation. Thank you very much for attending today. And from the global trends, which are a very high level perspective, I have now the pleasure to go to the grounds on the workforce, and this is postgraduate medical education. And I would like to say I'm here now for the third time, and I am honored to be here in Vilnius to this important gathering to discuss the future of medical education. Today, I will talk about how postgraduate medical education, which is often overlooked, holds enormous potential as catalyst for innovation in health and care. My aim is to connect the system transformation with the educational journey of our future physicians. I start with the introduction, and let's ask the question why postgraduate medical education matters. It marks the transition from student to independent practitioner, the longest and arguably the most influential phase of our training. I'm a physician, and I must really confess that my postgraduate education really was the biggest learning journey I had. It's here that real-world responsibilities take shape because of its position between undergraduate education and healthcare services. Postgraduate medical education is uniquely placed to directly influence both system performance, our healthcare, and workforce readiness. It is not just an endpoint of education. It is a strategic opportunity for innovation. Our healthcare system is in transformation. We all experience this, and the speed is increasing and increasing. And this is characterized by changes scientifically, technology, and socially. Patients expect more and are more diverse. And the environment demands not just an adaptation, and this refers what Janusz says, it really needs proactive leadership. And therefore, postgraduate medical education is not just about keep up with it, it must lead. That's the quote for my presentation today. If we think then about our future physicians, we have to have certain things in mind. The future is not really predictable and the demands are high. What we can imagine today is that our physicians, of course, they need more than just knowledge, skills, and these things. We must expect professionalism, teamwork, patient-centered care. They must also be digitally fluent and understand data, and the future will be they must engage with artificial intelligence. System thinking and leadership is not longer optional, as Janusz Januszewski pointed out. It must develop competencies and support lifelong learning as an ensuring habit. Let's have a look at aligning postgraduate medical education and health system innovation. It is, rather than reacting to change, what we can do, quick fixes, it's about being a driver of innovation. When aligned with healthcare priorities, it becomes a lever of transformation. This requires better workforce planning, real-life feedback loops using educational data, and the focus on outcomes that matter both to the learners and the patients. The conditions we need to use postgraduate medical education are as followed. Innovation does not happen just by chance. It requires vision, political will, national frameworks, and commitment of the faculty. Learning health systems that include education are especially powerful. When these systems are in place, postgraduate medical education catalyzes systemic improvements, both in care and in education. Let's look on EPAs, because EPA is a good way to come to the local context here, and EPAs are driving innovation in medical education. Entrustment decisions introduce a new way on assessment and supervision. They promote the coaching relations between learners and learner agencies. Evidence is growing that EPAs-based trainings not only improve educational outcomes, they also improve patient care and patient outcomes. And this is where education directly benefits the system. When we move on to the clinical responsibilities, then EPAs have the advantage that they bring real-world expectations into the education. This means that we have meaningful participation of our physicians and learners in patient care. They foster learner engagement and shorten the path to safe, unsupervised practice. On the same spot, they shift us from time-based to competency-based progression. EPAs are an important step because they reflect innovation in healthcare education. Entrustment decisions introduce a new way how we look on real-world performance and workplace-based assessment. Now we are coming to where we are and taking the lead, the Lithuanian adoption of EPAs. And this is something you can be very proud of because Lithuania is a European lead in the use of EPAs in postgraduate education. At the European level, it's, in addition to the Netherlands, the only country which has really adopted this nationwide. And it is scalable and system-wide innovation. What are the benefits of such a national EPA framework? The things are pretty clear because now you're living in a country where in every disciplines, medical disciplines, they are not any longer in silos, they are doing it differently. You have curriculum coherence and transparency. You have standardized quality and comparability. You introduce by that a national-wide way to strengthen supervision and the feedback culture. And of course, it needs to be facilitated as you have done by faculty development. And it is a way to align the healthcare system and the education with patient care priorities. The lessons from Lithuania for Europe are as followed, and you can be proud of what you have achieved here. On the one side, it needs vision and a national strategy, and it needs an inclusive development process, as you have done it here. All the disciplines were included. You have to invest in infrastructure, digital infrastructure, human resources infrastructure. You had to facilitate the commitment of faculty support. And what I can say from a European perspective, as a president of the Association of Medical Schools in Europe, you can be a blueprint for other countries. Now, coming to the Association of Medical Schools in Europe. And we, as an association, we like very much the approach of competency-based medical education, and we very much like the concept of putting this into practice using EPAs. The cross-border collaboration we have at AMSI is signified, for example, by Algirdas Utkus. He is General Secretary of AMSI, and we are working closely together. What our goal is that at the European level, we try to harmonize the frameworks and the language and the concepts we have in medical education. We are sharing EPA models. There are different models of EPAs. Lithuania is one of the leading ones. And we are sharing best practice over Europe. We foster collaboration in this, and I will show some examples of that. And we have peer exchange and shared resources. One major step for us is that we joined a collaboration with a team around Professor Olle ten Cate. And these are the in and outs EPA courses. These are international courses which aim at faculty development for the use of EPAs along the continuum of medical education. And these courses are now organized and managed under the umbrella of AMSI, and we are very proud of that. And I'm one of the teaching faculty. And go to our website, you can book these courses. They are one-week courses. It's a flipped classroom mode, and it's very engaging. The other component we have at AMSI is that we are working together at a global level. And we do this as a member of the executive committee of the World Federation for Medical Education. Here, we are working on the global standards and benchmarks. And we, as the European component, we are working on to advocate to use EPAs as best practice, which go beyond the minimum requirements in accreditation and evaluation. And we might consider to establish a European additional framework for standards where we use EPAs as best practice. And this can be used in accreditation processes, peer review, and external recognition. Then, in addition, we work together with other European organizations, and we are closely working together with the EMSA, European Medical Students Association, which has the same structure as AMSI. We are an institutional organization, and we are working here together on building capacity and training. And we have joint events, and we have a strategic partnership with them. And we are using this structure together with them for harmonizing EPAs and competency-based medical education in Europe with other organizations. So let's have a look on the future of postgraduate medical education. For us, AMSI, and I think for you, it is about supporting the implementation of EPAs. And we need a dialogue between these reforms in different countries. We do an advocacy for system alignment, and we are currently working on bridging the national and the European strategies. And for us, it's very important that we place the stories we have about EPAs at our national conferences. And we were here as our AMSI National Annual Conference, I think in 2021, and we will come back next year. And I'm very convinced next year when we have the AMSI conference here in September, EPAs and the Lithuanian experience will be at the center of this conference. Let me come to the conclusions. Where are we? Where do we go? First, we have to see, and Lithuania is leading here, postgraduate medical education is a catalyst and a tool for improvement of healthcare systems. And EPA-based approaches improve quality, safety, and adaptability. And by doing this, you can align education with national health priorities. Summary and outlook. Lithuania's adoption is really a landmark. Postgraduate education is key to innovation. EPAs have the power to bridge education and practice. And AMSI supports systematic transformation in Europe. And I'm here to say and place a call to action. Let's shape this future together. Thank you very much.